is Matthew Movies coming at you with my review of Thor: The Dark World, the 2013 film that is a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that I feel like is actually a little bit underrated. Now, I am not going to sit here and try to say this movie was fantastic. I don't think it was. I do think there were a few elements of it that worked fantastically, and I really, really enjoyed a lot, but I do see a lot of the criticism of this film as being accurate. First and foremost of them being the weakness of the villains. I thought Malekith, I mean, the Dark Elf, just really didn't do it for me. He looked pretty cool, I suppose, and fit with the whole kind of idea of the kind of Asgardians and being these, and having a lot of pomp and circumstance. And I thought his look very much fit that, and he definitely, like, they set him up to be really having a lot of potential calamity for the cinematic universe as a whole and the galaxy in which that these films exist. However, I never really bought into any of that. I thought he just, I don't know, he felt a little like milk toast to me. Just, there wasn't a whole heck of a lot there. I will say I did very much enjoy his chief henchman, the guy who ended up using the crystal or whatever it was to turn himself into this really fierce warrior. He was played by the gentleman who played Mr. Echo in Lost, and Adam BC from Oz. I'm drawing a blank on his name off the top of my head, but I've always been a big fan of him. I think he's very, very talented, and so it was really cool to see him be a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that I adore so much. I think, for me, going from the biggest weakness, I'm going to go to the biggest strength. There was a moment in this film that I thought was the coolest scene with Loki I've ever seen. And considering, in my opinion, and I think in a lot of people's opinion to date, he's the most effective film villain. I'd say the only villain that has come close to him would be Kingpin. And, you know, Thanos has a lot of potential going forward, but we haven't really seen him do a whole heck of a lot. But I think Loki has been the best film villain of any of the films in Marvel Cinematic Universe, with Red Skull maybe being the only competition there. And so to see him have this character moment was awesome. And by that I mean this, they'd set him up as this kind of callous and this character that didn't really care about any of the other Asgardians. And then when we saw his reaction to his adopted mother's death and the just despair he felt, I thought was one of the best elements of this film by far. I thought it was really added a lot to him. It made him feel a lot less cartoonish, you know, because he's a very over-the-top villain, you know, the trickster, and you always see what he wants you to see. So to see this other side of him that actually does really care about this woman, I thought was very cool. And I did enjoy a lot of the scenes with Thor and Loki. I thought that they kind of took it a bit too far, but there was a moment where you think something's happened that was quite heartbreaking, actually. And it was heartbreaking, one, because I love the character that it happens to, and if you've seen the movie, I think you probably know what I'm talking about when it comes to the two of them. But I really enjoyed that. I think maybe the way they left it off isn't necessarily the best, but I think it has a lot of potential still. I thought that the relationship that they had between Thor and Jane Foster, Chris Hemsworth, and Natalie Portman in this film was pretty weak, to be honest. I really felt like Natalie Portman didn't seem to really want to be a part of this film. I'm not surprised in the slightest that she isn't a part of Thor Ragnarok. It seemed like she was kind of sleepwalking through the role. I don't think she was terrible by any stretch of the imagination, but I definitely didn't feel like she was really committing to the role. I thought she was just there, and I felt like some of the charisma or the chemistry that I felt between the two of them in the previous film was largely absent. They just seemed to be two people that you were supposed to care about, but I never really felt too much of a relationship there. I will say I thought Natalie Portman's performance alongside Frigga actually was much better, I should say, played by Renee Russo. I thought that was actually one of the cooler elements of the film. And then I thought one of the weakest elements of the film was Kat Dennings' character. I really liked Darcy in the previous film. I thought she added some good comedy to it, and in this I thought she was just misfiring at every turn. It really felt very over the top, and it just didn't work for me whatsoever. I will say I thought Eric Selvig was back, played by Stellan Skarsgård, and I mean, he's just such a talented actor, and I just really enjoy seeing him in the movie, and I look forward to seeing more of him, because he certainly definitely seems like he's going to be appearing in the movies going forward as well, and that's awesome. So those are my thoughts on this film. I will say it's definitely very much a mixed bag. There's parts of it that I don't think work at all. There's parts that I think were actually quite effective. If I was going to give it like a grade, I would say maybe like a B minus or a B. I don't hate it. I think a lot of people like it less than I do, but I also don't love it by any stretch of the imagination. So those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, if you're a fan of it, if you think it's overrated, underrated, whatever. Other than that, please hit that like button, hit that share button. It makes it much more likely that other people will come check out this video, which is something I absolutely would love because I love talking to people about movies. And if you are new here, you just haven't done it yet, please hit subscribe, hit that notification bell to let you know when I put out another video, and you can come and join the conversation. Other than that, have yourself a good day.